Perfect. Well, it's an honor to be here. This is a great group, and I think it's a highly relevant group for what I'm going to be talking through in the next 15 or 20 minutes. To the extent that I know that questions are not the norm here, I do like interactivity, so you can wave and maybe give me some sign language questions or shout really loud as we get through this. I'm here to talk about really the revolution in social media that has enabled people to be their own brands and put, frankly, media really through their eyes as well as through their name. So community first is something near and dear to Glue's heart. As we are, some of you probably know this already, I'd say the world's leading and pioneering firm when it comes to monetizing social followers via gaming. Bit about myself. I run Glue Mobile. We're a NASDAQ-listed gaming firm. We've been going actually 15 years. We've been public since March '07. Glue is my second public company. It's my second games company and third mobile media business. I actually started running a public company in the UK called Monster Mob in the mobile music space. I'm on another public company board, sure, in the mobile messaging space. And I'm also on a new investee company board of Glues in Reykjavik, Iceland, a company called Plain Vanilla that actually makes that quiz up app that some of you, I hope, have played or if not, should be. Thank you. And in my spare time, I help out UCLA with their Depression Grand Challenge, but I didn't go to UCLA. I'm originally a physicist, believe it or not. So my own career journey has gone from solar cells to investment banking to gaming, as is, of course, probably not unlike many people that turn up at D.I.C.E, right? So let me start, as I sort of talk through social media, with the industry's favorite topic. Glue Mobile pivoted to free-to-play smartphone games in late '09, early 2010 when I started. So I've finished 6 years at Glue. I'm actually in my 7th year now. And I've been hearing for all 6 years of my tenure that CPI is going up. Almost every ad company in the world who's on the mobile platform likes to, frankly, try and scare half of the industry into thinking that CPI costs are doubling quarterly. I thought it was worth taking a drift back through time. So in 2011, Fixu had this graph that showed things definitely got more expensive between May and December. And this is 2011, CPIs. If you look at 2015, you see a similar graph. Things have gotten more expensive throughout the year. But on average, we're running at about 2x where we were in 2011. That's not helpful if you haven't driven LTVs up, but it's an important scale metric to sort of keep in mind. We're probably doubling about every 4 or 5 years here. 10, 20, 30% annual CAGR on average. What this, of course, has done for everybody in the industry is made it more expensive for people to be able to find your product and see your product. And whether you're a big company like Glue or you're an independent player, we've all had to get more innovative about how we get discovered. And it's really not a case of buying distribution with UA, it's a case of what do you do to make sure people can find your game through a multitude of channels. Social media and community is really the greatest and latest, and I do believe it's an enduring trend. I'm going to talk you through some of the things that Glue's done. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've gone from a world where carriers used to be the distribution point for games. I used to run a company in the feature phone gaming space called Hands on Mobile, and we had all of our distribution through the Verizon store, the Telkomsel store, 125 carrier accounts around the world. Well, today, there's only really 2 stores that matter, and they're both global, right? Apple and Google. Over the last 5 years, we have seen that people have continued to discover games through good old-fashioned word of mouth. That actually is, I'd argue, one of, if not the most important determinants of people finding your products, and always will be. If you have a product that's so great, you're going to tell your friend about it, very likely that they will take your recommendation up and play that title. Which is why we talk at Glue about the importance of surprise and delight power. The other thing that you see move up on this graph is social media. And emails are still at the top, at least according to this VentureBeat chart. Social media really wasn't around in its current form 4 or 5 years ago. It wasn't able to drive the kind of personal branding that we've seen with a number of our celebrity partners. But I believe it's an enduring trend which in other parts of the media industry you've seen with people such as Glenn Beck, shock jocks on radio able to take their audiences wherever they move. And I think in the long term you're going to find that every form of entertainment gets personalized. We don't really mind which channel Maria Bartiromo is on. You're going to tune in to see the Maria Bartiromo show if you're into your stocks, for example. And social media has allowed all forms of information entertainment to effectively go off-portal. Users are fragmented, and this is one of the most important reasons for understanding why people are becoming more important. Glue's largest shareholder is a company called Tencent. They put $126 million into Glue last April. And in China, Tencent owns WeChat. They own the biggest video distribution portal. They own the biggest kind of Netflix competitor. It's not a balkanized distribution environment. They control the biggest portals. And that means that celebrities actually don't have a lot of power. Tencent has a lot of power in China. If you're on WeChat, they can make anybody into a star. They can make any game into a hit. They own distribution. In other markets, predominantly the Western world, life is a lot more complicated. And it looks something like this. Every year there's arguably a new form of digital distribution, new form of social interaction that often finds its way into an app, things like Snapchat being one of the newest ones. And what you'll notice is people are spending more and more time on social media apps. Facebook claims something like 1 in 5 minutes on your phone goes on one of their apps, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Facebook itself. There's a fight for time going on here. And all apps are battling to make themselves part of your routine. I like to say at Glue that every one of our games, if it's going to be successful, has to understand their demographic and how you're going to make that game one of those top 5 apps that people use every day. If we do that, we have succeeded in retaining users, and monetization will come in a number of forms. The other thing about the balkanization of distribution is that what's continuous and contiguous across all this is people. If you have a big brand presence, if you're a living and breathing personality that people find interesting to follow, informative, or entertaining, you can actually aggregate audiences. It's not Tencent, it's not Glue, it's not YouTube, it's not even a Pinterest, a Twitter, or a Snapchat. The true aggregators of audience now in most of the world are people. Brand new phenomenon and one that will not change. There can be twice as many social media apps that come out in the next 5 years. It'll still be people that are aggregating audiences. And many experiences have been run by accident with people like Nicki Minaj shutting off her Twitter account, turning it back on, and rebuilding 10, 15, 20 million followers in a month. So people are the aggregators. Kim Kardashian is arguably our best and biggest partner to date. I first spoke to Kim in sort of early 2013, believe it or not, and our game came out finally in June 2014. It's been obviously a juggernaut. We have pioneered a new form of entertainment with Kim Kardashian Hollywood, whereby the game is effectively twisted up in Kim's real world. The virtual meets the real world. And we keep the game in sync with whatever she's doing, wherever she's traveling. She uses the game as effectively a media platform for her. It's one more app that she aggregates audiences through and retains them through it. It simply provides a different degree of interactivity than a Twitter or Instagram. When I met Kim, she had something like probably 40 million social followers. By the time our game launched, as you can see, 60, 70 million followers. Today, Kim's got 110 million followers. What's interesting about that is the game has been obviously very good for her brand and for her social distribution. But we've also had a knack for picking celebrities on the upswing, picking people that are growing organically. When you look at what this is translated into, in the first approximately 18 months of this game's existence, we've seen something like 80 million installs. We've seen absolutely 100 million plus revenue figure get delivered in the first 5 quarters. And you've seen some incredible usage figures. Total number of sessions in the billions, 35,000 years played. And I love the number of level ups and dates. right? Heading towards 1 billion dates in the game. Lots and lots of outfits, lots and lots of new brand integrations that I'll walk you through in a second, and of course, almost 2 billion photo shoots. That's an amazing amount of engagement, and effectively another social media app that Kim is aggregating. What makes this game so unique, and what makes me and Glue so bullish on what we have pioneered with Kim, is authentic promotion. A living and breathing brand is so much more powerful than one that sits on a shelf. You know, we've built games for big movies, Terminator, Mission Impossible, James Bond, etc. Kim has outperformed all of these. And I believe a big reason for that is that she has not only 110 million social followers, if you add up all of the aggregated apps, but it's a living, breathing, changing phenomenon that keeps people retained and keeps people interested. And you can see that Kim spends a lot of her time, if you follow her, getting her real life to mirror the virtual one and vice versa. We like to integrate whatever outfits she's wearing in the real world in the game, whatever brand she wears in the real world into the game. Wherever she goes, whether it's Fashion Week, vacation in Mexico, it's mirrored in the game. I'm going to take a second now to show you where we've taken Kim in our game. For those of you who haven't seen this, last year we actually went from the world of social media and digital media back into the linear by putting out a TV commercial.
It's okay, but I bet we can find something way cooler. So hot. Buy it and get going. You have to meet my friend. Where are you? The premiere is about to start. Check out your timeline. You're blowing up. Download Kim Kardashian Hollywood for free and play today.
Now, twisting up the world of the virtual and the physical. And believe it or not, this TV commercial has done less for us, I would argue, than the continued social promotion across all the rest of Kim's channels. It is a true testament not only to the power of social media stars in becoming traditional linear stars, but also of the continued, I believe, decline of linear media in favor of where people are spending their time. I mean, fundamentally, we are all now spending about half of our time on our phones. And we're going to see a continued shift of ad dollars from the internet and other platforms to the phone. There's a 2 or 3 year lag. If you listen to people who run the big ad firms, Martin Sorrell, WPP, Omnicom, etc. But ultimately, there is a big ad opportunity that we believe this type of game, this type of experience, is uniquely able to capitalize on. Now, mobile gaming has gone from, I would say, a hobby for not only many, let's say, brands and platforms and entertainment firms, but really the entire world 4 or 5 years ago, to something that is mass market. You can now have a mobile game that makes $1 billion of revenue a year. That's remarkable. The feature phone gaming market at its peak in 2008, the whole industry only made about $1 billion, approximately. And Glue was fighting for a piece of that with Gameloft and Jamdat/EA and Hands on Mobile. Today, we have bigger and bigger transmedia entertainment experiences being brought to life on your phone first, through your game first. You guys probably saw a number of these commercials at the Super Bowl last year, and you'll continue to see them because the power of social media means that you're spending time on your phone. That's where the dollars are going to flow. We use influencer marketing at Glue actually in all of our games. It isn't just our Kim Kardashian title or some of our brand new titles like the one we launched this morning, Kylie and Kendall Jenner. We've done influencer marketing in titles like Deer Hunter, where we've had integrations from the WWE, and we continue to find ways of using YouTube influencers to promote even Kim Kardashian's game. We've done campaigns with people like PewDiePie and half a dozen or more social influencers. And I think this is really an interesting thread for all of us this year at D.I.C.E. because what's happening in the world of media is it is effectively getting jumbled up. You're going to have linear stars focusing their energy on building their social media presence, and you're going to increasingly have social influencers turning into more and more powerful celebrities. You have movie producers trying to cast social influencers now because they know that they can drive huge eyeballs with a living and breathing brand. And if you listen to any of those, those unfortunate leaks that Sony Pictures had a couple of years ago with the hacking and so on, you'll see the sort of infuriation that numerous execs had there about the fact that they were casting directors and actors and not getting their social promotion as part of the contract. All of that's going to change. It's already changing. And the world that we're heading into is community first, social media wrapped into a multiplexed world of entertainment that is not only multiplexed with your apps on your phone, but multiplexed across all of the big screens we watch: phones, tablets, laptop, desktop, living room, TV screens, cinema screens, etc. Kylie and Kendall Jenner, we're very proud of this game. It went live last night. Kylie and Kendall, like Kim when we first met them, were a rising force in the social media world. They each had, 10, 20 million social followers 18 months ago. And we looked at the trajectory of their social following, and we looked at their engagement. And we recognized that they actually had a different demographic than Kim, despite being sisters. Over the last year, we've worked hard on creating a differentiated experience that not only leverages where Kendall and Kylie have been, but where they're going. They have grown their social following remarkably quickly. In the last year, they've gone from probably 60, 70 million combined to over 150 million combined social followers. We've created a new portrait game, not a landscape experience like Kim's, and we even have an experience that's integrated between the Kim Kardashian Hollywood and the Kylie and Kendall Jenner experience. So you get rewards for ultimately playing both of these games up to a certain point. And we're finding that there's actually basically no cannibalization. They really are different demographics. Kendall and Kylie are younger. Kim is, of course, her older sister. She's the pioneer. But we're finding that you can support multiple such interactive experiences that twist up the real and the virtual in parallel. Not really a surprise when you think about how the cable TV industry has developed, but certainly this is at the cutting edge of community and social in the gaming world. And I'm delighted to say that Kylie and Kendall have gone from a strong beta performance in markets like Singapore, Sweden, to an ever stronger performance in Canada. In the last 12, 18 hours, we've gone from nowhere in the US to #1. We're actually the #1 free app right now, and we're something like the number 40 or 45 grossing app. And believe it or not, I'm proud to share this today at this forum, we haven't spent any UA dollars thus far. This has entirely been driven by 150 million social followers and the support that Kylie and Kendall and Kim and even Kris Jenner has been there for us this morning. Incredible, incredible result. When I look into the future for Glue, we are in multiple genres. We make great shooter games like Deer Hunter and Contract Killer. We make the #1 racing game, Racing Rivals. We make the #1 baseball game, Tap Sports Baseball. #1 cooking game, Cooking Dash. Celebrity is a big piece of the roadmap, though. And celebrity is going to be used across many genres for us. We don't think about social community and social media as something that means we're only making 2D narrative games. So you'll see us innovate continually with games from people like Nicki Minaj, Britney Spears, Gordon Ramsay, and towards the end of this year, the unsurpassable Taylor Swift, who is actually the world's most popular person. She has something like 220 million social followers around the world and still growing. One of the things I'm proudest of at Glue in the last year is that on my May Analyst Day last year, we said we would set out to sign 1 billion social followers. I said on my earnings call a few weeks ago that we're actually at over 1.3 billion social followers, and that's come from organic growth. So we're picking personalities that not only are large and impressive and special when we sign them, but they're on an upward trajectory. And you will see this continue to happen. My prediction is there will be a day when someone has 250 million, 300 million social followers. And there really isn't a limit to how high it can go because many of these people have yet to tap Asia. So I'm going to leave it there. I did want to ask our audience for one interactive piece of feedback. Based on everything you've seen and heard and know about Glue, Kim, Kendall, Kylie, how many people think the Kylie and Kendall game will do more revenue in the next 5 quarters than Kim Kardashian Hollywood? Hands up, you think it's going to do more revenue? Okay, who thinks it's going to do less revenue than Kim's game? And I'm hoping the rest of you all think it's going to do about the same. Who thinks it's going to do about the same revenue as Kim Kardashian Hollywood? Okay, so for those who are not watching the audience on camera, we have almost an even tie as far as I can tell between those three. Really helpful, guys. No. All right, thank you so much for your time. I'll be around today, and I look forward to speaking with many of you. Take care.